Florida is also notorious for panhandlers, right? Usually in a lot of areas and major intersections, there's somebody there, hey, need help, asking, they're looking for money, right?
Yeah.
And look, I'm not knocking on them. I don't know their situation.
I got a Florida story about that I've got to share.
Okay, yeah. But I'm not like, I understand that there are a whole long list of reasons those things happen. And I'm like, and I don't wish that upon anybody. Like, that's not the premise of what I'm getting at. But I think what happens is people get to that point, but then they get stuck in the dopamine hit. Here's the thought. Now, a lot of these people look like they're probably quite capable of handling a job and holding a job, right? But think about what happened, what the difference in dopamine hit is. So I go to a job, I work, and I could potentially make more money, maybe not, don't know. But let's say for the sake of the argument, I make the same amount of money, right? Work at a job, I have stable income, like it's more stable than walking up and down the light and getting money from people. But my time to pay off is longer. When I walk up and down the median and I get somebody to say yes, I have the money in my pocket then.
Slot machine.
If I go to work, I don't get paid for a week or 2 weeks. You usually don't get paid same day. And even if you do get paid the same day, I still have to work the whole 8 hours and then get paid.
The distance between the dopamine is longer.
Exactly. And so it's a trap, right? I'm not like, again, I understand that, like, that's a terrible situation.
And there's a lot of drug problems.
And there's all these other things that factor in. But if they're capable and can handle a job and can do the things, it's going to be, but if they spent a month panhandling, it's going to be significantly harder to go to a regular job because of the distance to the payoff is so much farther or further. And then I think this is the same jump that happens from employee to entrepreneur.
Oh.
Right? If you think about it, the jump out of steady paycheck to entrepreneurship is challenging because I don't know how long till the paycheck necessarily.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's the same, like it's the same concept. So you have to train yourself for a longer payoff.
Yeah.
Right. Like you have to be okay with longer spans between dopamine. Right.
Okay.
It's exactly like they're the same thing. And we didn't go to we didn't go to that second part. Like I just jumped to that second part. But
this is so good because
it's crisis management.
And it's actually, so if someone's standing there and they're asking for money, with a sign, it is a continual slot machine.
Exactly.
Because you never know which pull is going to cause the because somebody's going to hand them $100. Right?
At some point.
I've given someone $100 before.
Right.
Like I don't talk about when I do it, and it's very much like I'm very quiet about it.
Yeah.
And when like I'm sitting there and like it feels like God tells me this is the person, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like something, I don't make a habit of just throwing money out to people, but I do try to listen. Do what?
I like to buy food for people.
Yeah. Well, I've done that before as well.
Well, that's my favorite. Like if you actually need something, like, I'm hungry. Great. Here's some food.
Yeah.
Right? Like I've on the regular given people like a jar of peanut butter and a thing of bread.
Yeah.
Like if you're hungry, here you go. Like this will get you some calories, right?
For sure. And
some water.
So that is an amazing observation.
So
because it's a slot machine.
Yeah. Like, well, I didn't even think about slot machine
for a good reason or a bad reason. Yep. It doesn't matter. It still functions like a slot machine because there's an unpredictability to the predictability, right? And so somebody's going to do it, but you know that there's going to be a 777, a cherry.
I just have to I just have to knock enough doors.
And and the slot machines are built by algorithm to make sure that it happens often enough to keep people putting in the coin. Okay, now expand that, to what you just said about entrepreneurship. And I just had a thought, because the shift from the steady, predictable, I'm anticipating Friday's paycheck. I'm anticipating Friday's paycheck, right? Stability, but also knowing that it's coming, right? And if there's overtime or anything involved, it's even going to be bigger. I wonder how much it's going to be this week. I can't wait to get it. It's going to come to me soon. Like, that is a level of anticipation towards dopamine. Now, to shift from the entrepreneur standpoint, you don't have that same feeling of predictability, okay? But until the answer is until, because I was thinking about someone like a Dan Henry or a Russell Brunson, or someone that has an audience, okay, even a small one, but an audience, and knows how to sell, okay, then they could never go back to the long expectation to get money. They actually can do it on demand like a slot machine. Okay, so they actually have shortened that. They've built their entrepreneurial skills in a way so that it actually mimics more of the guy on the side of the road asking for money. Because it's a more sophisticated version, but in a sense, it's a sophisticated version. And
because this is just a sales pitch, and they have and I know, because you'll be in a parking lot and you'll get approached by somebody, and they have a script. Like, they didn't just randomly come up with what they said. Well, they kind of did, right? But over time, this worked and this worked and this worked, and they've refined their sales script.
Well, and God will bless you if you give me money,
or whatever, or
I was thinking about from a payoff, right? So why have I ever given money? Like, thinking back, if you've ever given money, why?
Because you felt good about it.
I think I felt like, for me, usually, that is true. But it's from the vein of God wants me to.
Sure.
And so now it becomes a religious payoff. In a sense. Right? Like, from a feeling standpoint, not necessarily that I'm getting brownie points, because that wouldn't be theologically accurate. But the feeling is that you're being obedient in that way. And if you're being obedient, then you are in right standing with God, right? And so that's really wild to think about it, because if you think about people on the side of the road asking for money and it being a sales pitch, I was thinking about, well, what is the payoff that the person giving? What are they receiving, right? Because when you transact, you receive something. They're receiving that religious feeling of, I'm a good person, I've done this good thing, right? And
the good deed,
and the good deed feeling, right? And
I'm being helpful,
and my status is high because I can do this,
because I help somebody,
right? Because I help somebody,
and
all those things are happening simultaneously.
I have discretionary money that I can help somebody that is
in
need.
Now let's go back to, or maybe I'm feeling bad about my financial situation, but I'm not in that. But I'm not in that situation, right? Exactly. And so if you think about it, and then you go to like a webinar or a sales page or anything, at the end of the day, you're leveraging that same status. You're leveraging that same, all those same things in the same way.
Emotional and
those emotional anchors. Those meaningful anchors, you might say. That's really fascinating to think. Right. And then so that then becomes a slot machine in and of itself. Right. It's like, oh man, I can just I can send this email and then I can get a bunch of people on a webinar and I can do this thing. Or
well, and that's why I was saying, like, that's, if we go all the way back to the original part of it, that's why the sales people that get addicted to that part generally don't have good back end systems, because the dopamine,
because to do the back end system has a longer dopamine associated with it.
Exactly.
Unless you're a back end person,
right,
that has honed your skills in that,
right,
then you're good at systems, but then the sales side of it is a longer dopamine, right?
Because you're not good at that because you haven't honed those skills.
That's so fascinating. That is so absolutely fascinating.
It's all microcosms themselves.
That's so fascinating.
Right?
I love that. Oh my gosh, that's so good.